that I had was, do you know anything about how they came to their conclusions about the rise in student population? That they were citing that, you know, they've done some research and this is where the projections are?
Yeah, some of that language is pretty old because it hadn't changed from the 2007 ordinance. So I think it's just carried forward. I don't think it was.
Is that something we need to be concerned about though?
Well, I mean, we could give some input into it if we would like to do that, but it doesn't affect what we're getting as far as the dollars out of the development. I mean, it was more around what the rationale is for.
I guess that's why, I guess I'm a little confused. Well, I don't know. It just seems like our student population is flatlining.
Right, so.
And this is making it sound like it's going way up, so we need all this land and we need to prepare for this, so.
Well, when it was, the ordinance was, I'm trying to think of the first version of it that we received was, I think 01 or 03. And at that juncture, the district was building several
Right.
buildings because of the 2000 referendum that was passed. And we built several buildings behind them. So that's why I'm saying, I think the language just kind of keeps
Right.
moving forward with the ordinance unless somebody asks for something.
The lawyers are okay with.
They didn't have any problem. Like I said, it doesn't really impact how the donations are.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna sound stupid. All right. So this is just a value on the land itself. It doesn't have anything to do with the growth per se of town, right? So I guess then my question is sort of irrelevant because I just was reading how Bartlett's growing so much, Streamlet's growing so much, and when I thought about this, I thought, well, then it would be, if they're growing so much, then it'd be good to get, well, it's irrelevant then, never mind.
Actually, I have one more question that kind of occurred to me. Like when you were talking the last meeting about home rule or.
I saw that in here. I saw that in this last, the ordinance itself talks about the
Right.
home rule and how part of it can.
Home rule only applies to municipalities.
Sorry for bringing that up again.
That's all right. School districts cannot be home rule.
Okay.
It's only municipalities.
Got it. Okay.
Again, I don't know a lot about it, but that part I did figure out since the last time it was on.
It's an important distinction, I guess. Given that we don't have that.
Having been, having served on the board, I know we were able to vote on things that perhaps a municipality that wasn't a home rule city couldn't maybe pass a law regarding. Recently, they voted on firearms, right? So that, they were able to determine whether or not they wanted to ban certain weapons because they're home rule. If they weren't, the state would make that decision for them. But during my time there, I never remembered us talking about this tax rate and the tax levy, and that's mentioned a little bit in here, which I found interesting, but it doesn't explain it enough, unfortunately.
Anything else? Thank you, Jeff.
Our next work session item is new board policy 5.501, employee benefits, employee participation in healthcare benefit program. Ms. Shroder and Ms. Nolan participated with Ms. Mydell, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, and Ms. Beth Bird, Coordinator of Benefits, to discuss the proposed policy, and these ladies are here to present the policy and answer any board questions.
Good evening. As we try to prepare and move forward to support the new laws, this was a policy that was brought to us with our organization that assists us with our benefits. So if you have any questions, I'll have Beth answer to those questions. You can see it there. It's in the, to be able to read the new policy, it's 5.501.
Are there any questions?
You guys answered all mine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
On the work session, we have resolutions abating, resolution abating working cash fund drawdown number 6, $775,750. Mr. King is here to review the resolution and answer any board questions.
This is our last drawdown for last summer's projects, so this should complete the money we need to pay for closing out all of those projects. It should leave us approximately $3.5 million in the working cash fund that was originally sold for capital projects for this next summer. And we will probably come forward again in the spring as we start planning for the following summer with the list of projects for the board and the estimated costs of those projects. To answer your question.
Are later on in our agenda, we have some things going for Abbott, EHS, and Eastview?
Right.
Do they get on here?
Well, that's part of it. I mean, so what happens is when we close a project, we will finalize the finances, and if there's money left in the contract that we're not going to spend, that's when you see the change order. If it's especially if it's a negative change order. So we didn't spend everything that we said we were going to spend when we came to the board and asked for a certain amount of money to approve a bid. So then the change order is generated at the end of the project to say, okay, we didn't spend everything you approved. This is what we will keep out of the contract. Make sense?
And except that so so we're making the change order. Can you guys turn the cameras off? Because that's really making me very nervous.
Public meeting.
Lovely people. All right, I'm going to do my best.
So, may I answer? Sure. Jeff, for the capital project summaries that you have here for our meeting, where are the work session change orders that are going to follow this item on the list of the project summary?
Well, we don't put every change order on the project summary, and not every project we did is on the summary.
Okay.
Because some of the projects we did this last summer were not paid out of the capital money. Some was taken from our budget, our operating budget. Some was taken from qualified zone academy bonds. Some was taken from life safety. We have 4 or 5 different sources. So the only ones you see on the list, we typically put the bigger ones on the list and or the ones that we used those dollars from the working cash. Otherwise, our list to you would be twice as long.
Was that I think you were looking for the projects that were on the change order on this summary.
Yeah, there's not necessarily a direct correlation depending on how the projects were funded. So the only reason you may not see them is because they were funded a different way.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
And then the final work session item are change orders. I'll go ahead and identify all 3 of them, and then you all can answer any particular questions. Abbott Middle, Eastview Middle, and Elgin High School elevator retrofit projects number 1 final, Hargrave Builders Inc. Kimball Middle School chiller replacement number 1 final, Oak Brook Mechanical Services Inc. And Larkin High School kitchen remodeling project number 1 final, IHC Construction Companies LLC.
Are there any questions?
So you'll take.
The administration recommends the Board of Chair approve the resolution for Abbott Middle School, Eastview Middle School, and Elgin High School elevator retrofit projects. And this is the final change for $4,973.45.
I read here the specific rationale. I was curious if it was something that we didn't mention when we went out to bid, or was it something that the person that bid was unaware of, like did they not do a walkthrough, or how did it get missed?
Well, what happened is it's not the contractor list. This was unknown until we get awarded the contract. We assumed that the shaft is in good shape.
Okay.
When they removed the elevator, the shaft collapsed. So we had to figure out and change order and do it. It was not anticipated.
Okay, So, yeah, even if they've done a walkthrough, they wouldn't have.
Oh, they did walk through, they were looking to look, but unless you remove it, you can't
We
see.
can't tell.
Any other questions?
Next one.
Okay, yes.
The administration recommends approval of the change order for Kimball Middle School chiller replacement, final work order for the amount of $19,208.34. And that's a negative.
Are there any questions?
The kind of change order we'd like to see.
We usually see those.
Yeah, you guys are good.
And Oregon High School?
The administration recommends approval of change order in the amount of $2,949.83 negative reduction for Larkin High School kitchen remodeling change order, final change.
Are there any questions? Okay, thank you. That is the last item on the agenda, so could I ask for a motion to adjourn?